eagles fly. Let's peep the squad. Big Pat Shell and Dante the Dark Child. Drop the stats on them, drop the facts on them. Spur King, baby, let's get it on.
Yo, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight. Having a little technical difficulty. I can't even share the show. I don't know what's going on. All right, look, let me see. None of my co-hosts are here. This is not going right. Maybe this wasn't a good time to come on. But I wanted to come on because the schedule is being released tonight. And I wanted to, go over it a little bit. We're not going to do our game by game, but we were going to, did want to be on the air when it came on, you guys. I like to provide you guys with the latest, you know what I'm saying? So I'm here tonight to go over the schedule when it's released. We have a leaked schedule, so we can start a little earlier, thanks to my man JT posting in the Eagles Talk group on Facebook. If you guys out there, would you share the show, please? Because I'm not able to do this right now. I don't know what's going on with my internet or whatever. I don't even want to talk about my internet provider because I'll put them on blast if I talk about it, right? But I'll put them on blast. But share the show in your favorite Eagles groups and all that. I know there's a lot going on tonight, but there's nothing bigger than our Eagles, right? I mean, Eagles fans, right? I know there's NBA basketball and stuff like that, but I wanted to be on when the schedule dropped so we can go over this together. And then next week we can go a game by game, our annual game by game sharing and the such. So we are going to I got it now. So we're going to go over the schedule. JT, oh no, who saw that? Matt, my guy Matt, that's in the Eagles Talk group. He saw the leaked version and he's already calling for like 11 wins. I don't know yet. I haven't even gone over it. I've just peeked at it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll go over it. We'll go over the leaked schedule, and hopefully it matches up with what the actual schedule is. But this is just tentative. This is a leaked schedule. I can't say that it's official because it's not. So we'll just go by what we have. So you are watching Eagles Talk. Let me see who's in the room there. You got some room? I'm gonna give you guys a couple minutes. Yeah, all right. I need that wrench. Yeah. All right. So I want you guys to share the show because I'm having a little difficulty or whatever. And oops, didn't want to do that. Let me go back. All right. So all right, here we go. All right, just bear with me. So the schedule comes out. Looks like well, let me do the opening first. All right, so you're watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show around that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I'm not drinking, I'm still on the thing. If you're a regular, I'm still on it, but I'll do a shot of my energy drink with you guys. So come on, let's get this going because this is an exciting time with the schedule coming out. There's a lot of Christmas Eve like events in the off season, and this is one of them. The draft was one of them, and this is another one when the schedule actually drops. And we already know our opponents. We already know we got to see those San Francisco 40 Winers, and I can't wait to see them. I just wonder what week that is, and it doesn't matter. I heard Shanahan talk about he didn't want it to be a week one type deal because he wants he wants his whole team here this time. So even he is whining. And I said I was on another Eagles broadcast this weekend, and I said that low key, this 49ers and Eagles has a potential to be a good rivalry, right? People was like scoffing at me, like, it can't be a rivalry. We don't play them that often, such and such. And then I reminded them that, in the 90s, the Cowboys and the 49ers was a rivalry. They didn't play in the same division, but they kept meeting in the NFC Championship game, and it developed into a rivalry, especially in the 90s. So that's what I'm using as the potential of this. If we meet them, we are the two best teams in the NFC, so it's a possibility we meet them in the playoffs again this year. So it's low-key got the potential to be a rivalry. But anyway, I want you to raise your drinks. Let's do that. To our Philadelphia Eagles, And let's do it. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1. You're now listening to the. All right, so I'm gonna go and bring my only co-host tonight, I guess, is you guys in the room. And the first person that's in the room is my YouTube contingency, and that's Eric. Yo, I need that wrench. What's up? What's up, Eric? Dion is second in the room. Dion says 8-0 or 7-1 to start. Then shit gets hairy. All right, I haven't even looked at it, Dion. I'm gonna put it on the screen in a little bit. James is in the house. Our loyal YouTube follower, and I thank you guys for following on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. He says, "What's good, fam? What's up?" Roger says, "What's up? What's up?" And Dion also says, "If the leak joint is real, I'm coming home Christmas Day to be amongst the Bird family while we slap the Giants." I'm with that. Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Jones, she's in the house. What's up, fan? Fly Eagles fly. Mr. Jones and I plan to be in Philly for the Christmas game. Yeah, that Christmas game has been leaked against the Giants, as you see everybody talking about. And let me, without further ado, let me just put on the leak version. This is via one JT who posted this, and you can see it now on the screen there. So the first week is the Patriots, right? First week is the Patriots. And they've already announced that they'll be honoring Tom Brady. So Tom Brady will be honored against a game against the only, well, not the only team, but one of the teams that took him down in the Super Bowl in dynamic fashion too. Because you know Nick Foles, who that's one quarterback that Tom Brady didn't beat was Nick Foles, and that was incredible. So Nick Foles took down the GOAT, and he will be honored in that week 1 matchup when we are at the Patriots. That should be an easy one, though. I don't think the Patriots will have what it takes to take a dynamic Eagles team down, especially after we have retooled with free agency and such a spectacular draft this year. I think we are just as talented as we were last year. And if we are just as talented, I said this on another podcast, if we talent-wise are just as talented as last year, then we're better. Only in the sense that we're younger. We have more youth on the field now, more athleticism on the field now. We're built for the long run. I know the young guys have to be caught up to speed, and we are all hoping and praying that everyone plays up to their potential. And that was a part of the beauty of last year, right? Because we've had teams where we brought in free agents, and they didn't live up to the hype. But last year, every free agent we brought in, darn near, played up to their potential. They played up to the what we expected from them when we signed them, and it was a dynamic thing. It was one of the greatest seasons in Eagles history, right? I mean, say for one half of football, we would have been Super Bowl champs, and I think it would have been cemented. But even without that, if you just look at talent-wise and our dominance during that season, can you name another Eagles team or another Eagles season that was as dominant as what we had last year? I dare you. I challenge you, as a matter of fact. You can do it. I'll wait, But that's how it went down last year. So we will be facing the Patriots. I don't think they have enough. It remains to be seen. Every team going into the year, we base a lot of our predictions on what the team did last year. We know there are going to be some surprises that emerge in the season to come, but we won't see that until a little ways into the season. And I don't see the Patriots, and I'm not a Patriot follower. Don't get me wrong. So I don't know their roster. I don't know who they picked up in the off season and their draft or whatever, but I don't think that they will be able to compete with the Eagles on that level. Now, week 2, though, the Minnesota Vikings. We take on the Minnesota Vikings on Thursday Night Football. And that's another thing, like being as good as we were last year, I expect that. I think the maximum primetime games a team could have is like 6 or so. And I foresee us having 6. We should have 6. That's how good we are, and we are a marquee a marquee team. We're must-see TV, I think, at this point. Jalen Hurts being the best quarterback in the NFC, hands down, I think. And this team, as dynamic as it was last year, we should get a lot of prime time love. And then we get our first taste of it in week 2 versus the Vikings. Again, this is an unofficial schedule, so we'll wait to see. The new schedule will drop actually at 8 o'clock, so this may be changed. But tentatively, this is what we're facing. Week 3, we're going to play the Buccaneers, also in prime time, Monday Night Football. So we'll get a long break right there between week 2 and week 3, Thursday night, and then we don't play again until the next Monday. So that'll be great, right? Here we go. Week 4, we take on the Commanders. First divisional game will be against the Commanders. And again, I'm not going to do a lot of wins or losses. You guys can speculate in the chat room. We're going to do our official game-by-game breakdown next week. We just want to go over the schedule. Week 4 versus the Commanders at home. Then week 5, we have the Rams at the Rams. That should be a good road trip, right? Out in the Hollywood. Week 5 is still not, it's really not ever cold in California, right? So in week 5 should be still early October, maybe. I don't know the dates. All right. Then week 6 at the Jets, we play Aaron Rodgers, and I see the Jets being a much improved team with Aaron Rodgers. They were just a quarterback away, I would say, and they get the return. They return a dynamic young running back in Breece Hall. They had the offensive rookie of the year. They had the defensive rookie of the year. They have a solid squad, and I think they were just missing a competent quarterback, and now they have one in Aaron Rodgers. So we'll face him up in New York in week 6. Week 7, we play the Dolphins. They were good, and they should continue to be good in this next upcoming season, albeit if Tua can play up to the level he played last year. He had a great year with the 2 wide receivers who are arguably the only wide receiver duo, I think, that gets with our wide receiver. I mean, that competes or is on the level of our wide receiver duo, and that's Waddle and Hill. I'm sorry, Tyreek Hill. I'm sorry, brain freeze right there. So let me take a pause and see what you guys are saying in there. Looks like Dion said it looks like 4 prime times, but things can change. Yeah, I thought we would get 6. That's I'm a little maybe I'm a little arrogant as an Eagle fan, but all right, if 4 is not bad. Okay, if the leak joint is real, I heard I said that already. Let me see. Eric says that's because they have been crying ever since we beat the shit out of them. Yeah, that was the 40 whiners. Yeah, hello, sir. Let's go Sixers. Yes, and the Sixers game is going to be playing there. James says we have a gauntlet of a schedule, but this will shut the mouths of the people. Oh, excuse me. Boop. Boop. This will shut the mouths of the people. Why can't I see that? Nope. That will shut the mouths of the people that want to question how good we really are. When our record is 12-4, they won't be able to say anything. Yeah. When our record is 12-4 next year, they won't be able to say anything. Mr. and Mrs. Jones. And Eric also says, oh no, let me go down. What's up with Memphis 10? Memphis 10, what's that? Memphis 10, I don't get it. Give me that. I mean, give me an update on what you mean by that Memphis 10. All right, so let me just, I'm sorry. Bear with me here. I got to do most of my own. I have to work everything today, the board, everything. So I'm just bear with me a little bit as I try to get this out here. So what is the buy? Let me see. What's the buy? Okay. All right. See them. Eric said he got us going winning at least 12 to 13 games. That's incredible. All right, let me go to the second half of the season. All right, that's a good bye week right there. All right, so week 9, we see the Cowboys for the first time in Dallas, and then we go into the bye. That's a great time for the bye, right? It's almost halfway through the season, get a little recharge there. I like that bye placement. If that is correct, I like that bye placement. And then right after the bye, we get to go down, and the Super Bowl rematch is on, us versus the Chiefs. And this time we hope the field is in good condition, because if it is, we're coming for revenge. You better believe it. And I think we will, and I believe that we will get it. But this is a stretch of games right here. This side right here is a stretch of games that's going to be incredibly difficult, right? Cowboys bye, Chiefs week 12, the Bills week 13, the 49ers week 14, the Cowboys again. That's a heck of a stretch, and I think that's what he was talking about. We get 8-0, 7-1, and then we have a hairy stretch. I think this is the hairy stretch he's talking about, and he would be right. The Cowboys, the bye, the Chiefs, that can help us a little bit. Cowboys, tough game, then we get a bye, get the rest up. We usually do good coming out of rest, right? So the Chiefs after that, then the Bills, then the 49ers. These are all playoff teams. Then week 14, back to the Cowboys. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game stretch. And then Seahawks, and they're not to be sneezed at, right? They're in week 15. Week 16, the Giants. That's Christmas. Week 17, the Cardinals and Gannon. We smacked them down. I wonder if we're going to even need that game. I don't know. I don't even know if we'll need that game. But we play the Cardinals, hopefully smack Gannon down and get revenge on his paying more attention to getting the job in Arizona than winning us the Super Bowl. That's what I assume. I'm just speculating because he didn't seem to have any type of adjustments in the second half. Maybe he was checking his phone text messages and seeing if the Cardinals was reaching out to him. I don't know, but we don't like Gannon too much here. And so we get to see him in week, what's that? I'm sorry, let me put that back up. In week 17, then week 18, we finish off with the Giants. So that's we have a tough schedule. We do. We have a tough schedule, and we have the toughest schedule. They said, I saw a post earlier that says that we have the most difficult schedule by strength of schedule. So we'll see. Everything doesn't pan out, but going by last year's record, this is a tough schedule here. So it's we have our work cut out for us. And if I'd like the comment that was said earlier, if we go 12-4 with this type of, well, we can't go 12-4 because it's 17 games, so we got to go 12-5 or 13-4. But you have to make up our mind. We don't play 16 games anymore. So whoever said that math is a little off, but that's all right. What James meant was we will be 12-5. All right, 12-5. Not as dominant as was last year, but this is a tougher schedule by all admission, right? If everybody agree with me, this is a tougher schedule than what we have, and that stretch of 5 games, 6 games, I think is tough. So, and I'm all right with that. I mean, we should come out of that. I don't think we sweep all of them. Yeah, we have to lose. And again, I'm not gonna go game by game, win loss. Not just yet. I need my crew here. I need my other co-hosts here, because that's an annual show that we do, and we have fun with it. And it's fun to see what we predict when the schedule comes out versus what really happens. And last year we weren't too far off. I might have predicted. Matter of fact, they did better than what we most predicted. I think I had them at like 11 or 12, and we won what, 14? We won 14-3. So, everybody was under. Everybody was under. And this year we'll see where we fall in comparison to what our team actually does. Pamela said, remember, Kansas City changed a lot too. They lost some folks too, but I think our team is built better than theirs. We'll bring it. We'll, bring everybody, because we're not going anywhere. We have the Well, he's not the MVP, but close. MVP runner-up, newly paid quarterback. He's most valuable to our team, and that's Jalen Hurts. And believe me, I talk about this all the time. Jalen Hurts has that Mamba mentality. So guess what? We didn't win. He was a couple votes shy of winning MVP and a half shy of winning the Super Bowl. And you better believe that this guy is working on his game now. See, the thing I like about Jalen is that he's not reached his ceiling. And I don't think he's close to reaching it, right? On the other hand, you have Dak, right? And I think Dak, if you ask me, I think Dak has reached his ceiling. I think he's on the decline. If last year was any indication, he's turned the ball over more. I think he has reached his ceiling. So we have a very young quarterback, dynamic quarterback. He may be in a running for MVP again, especially if he improves on what he did last year. And that was tremendous. The jump he made from the previous year to this year, his second year starting, was tremendous. And it's not a coincidence that it happened with the addition of A.J. Brown. I mean, you give a good quarterback talent, and it makes him even better. And it did for Jalen. But I'm not taking away any of the work that he put in the offseason last year, because he put in a lot of work, that Mamba mentality. I love his work ethic and his thought process. We heard it at his press conference when he signed the contract. Money is good. Championships are better. You hear that? Money is good. Championships are better. Meaning we're not resting. He's not resting on any of his laurels there. He's going to improve. He's going to improve. We're 5 minutes away from the official schedule coming out. Someone, please, I got to do everything here, so I got a screen over here with the NFL channel on it. I'm probably not going to be able to post that, but I'll look at it and see it, and then you guys out there look at it too and tell me how close it is to what we have, if it is exactly the same or not. Okay, Wayne says Dakota Prescott had 5 years ahead of Jalen and still could not get it done. Yes, he did have a 5-year head start on Jalen, and Jalen has surpassed him in just his third year. That's incredible in itself, and I don't think that ascension is done yet. I think he can go even higher. Dion says it's a good time of year to have a stretch like that. We should have our plan well oiled by that time, and I agree, Dion. That's very key too, because you imagine we have two new coordinators, right? So they'll be able to get their feet wet earlier in the season against lesser talent and hopefully work out the kinks. So by the time we get to that stretch of football, we're a well-oiled machine at that point. I can't wait. I'm very eager to see our defensive coordinator Desai and how he implements all the tools he has at his disposal, how he uses the young guys. I can't wait, and I am praying that the young guys are ready for the task. I wish I could be at every practice, because can you imagine what the practices are going to look like? Well, I can imagine a little bit, because they're not as physical as what we've seen in the past. But that model of training camp seems to work for Sirianni. So we're not going to see any of them in the preseason if everything holds true. He doesn't play the starters in the preseason, so and our team was the healthiest that it has been in years, so they're not going to move off of that model of training camp. So you don't expect to see a lot of the starters in the preseason. We have to wait. Our preseason is the first month of September, but last year was very surprising. As much as we hemmed and hawed and said, how can a team get ready? How can a professional NFL team get ready for the season and not practice hard and not play in the preseason? Well, we saw it. we saw Sirianni prove us wrong, because they came out and they were on fire and dominant. That's the thing about last year's team. It was dominant. That's why I dare say it was one of the greatest Eagles seasons ever. We've had good Eagles teams. We had the team that won the Super Bowl, but that year, that team that won the Super Bowl wasn't even as dominant as this team was last year. The way we went through the regular season, I think the closest game we had was the Indianapolis game. On a lot of other games, the outcome was decided almost in the first half. We had dominant first halves, and we were in the beginning of the season. We were just like, wow, imagine if we put a full game together. Well, by the end of the year, we were putting full games together, and especially in the playoffs, we were putting full games together and totally dominating the competition. And then for one half in the Super Bowl, we continued that trend. We just had a little fumble in the second half. But I think we're coming back. I think we're going to avenge that loss, and it's going to be I think we're coming back because not coming back because, but we have unfinished business. Let me put it that way. We have unfinished business, and I think we finish that business next year, this season coming up. So I'm going to end this quarter here. Let me see.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, you're watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. And we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. I'm not drinking. My crew is here. My co-hosts are not here. They usually hold it down. They do it for the culture, and they're not here. So I'm going to just take a shot of my energy drink, and you guys tell me what you're drinking, and we're going to salute because the schedule should be out in a minute. So to our Philadelphia Eagles, down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
So second quarter, a minute to go before they release the official NFL schedule. I had a leaked schedule, and it may be what the official schedule is, but it won't be official until we see the official schedule. So you guys saw it. The front half of the schedule, the season looks like we should be in good shape. And hopefully that's the way it plays out, because if it does, that means we'll have the momentum going into that tough stretch of games there. If this schedule holds true against the Cowboys, the Niners, the Chiefs, Cowboys, Chiefs, Niners, Bills. I mean, Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, Niners, and then Cowboys again. That's crazy. That is crazy. I can't wait. I can't wait for the season to come up, but I can't, because I don't like to rush the season, because when the season comes up, that means summer's over. I got to enjoy my summer. That's my favorite season of the year, is the summer. I don't know about you guys. So I want to get to the season. I'm eager to see my Philadelphia Eagles back on the field, but I'm eager also to barbecue. I want to barbecue. So let's not rush it too much. You know what I'm saying? I'll wait. I could be patient. I could be patient. I don't know about you guys. So here we go. Let me go to some comments out here. Hazy Little. What's that? Is that a drink? Dark Knight can relax tonight. Dark Knight can relax tonight. That's what Wayne's saying. Oh, I don't know. I can't relax because I don't have any help here. So I got to do it all myself. Let me see. Dion says, oh, hold up. Miss Jones is drinking the Caramino and Ultra. That tequila. Mrs. Jones is a tequila person. And Dion is doing the Israeli single malt. It's for the Sixers win. Yes. And I believe that we'll pour it out too. I can go into a whole commentary about that, but this is Eagles talk and people get mad because not everybody are Sixers fans, but I am one. And Pat is in the room instead of being here with me, but that's all right, Pat. All right. That's cool. You out. But no, Pat is out celebrating the birthday of his grandfather, my uncle, Gandhi. How old is Uncle Gandhi exactly? He's got to be 90, right? Got to be in his 90s. Put his age up there, and let's wish him a happy birthday on the air. This is my uncle, his grandfather, 92. Yes, he is 92. God bless him, Uncle Gandhi. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy. Don't get him all. We want him to make it to 93. So chill out on the red meat. Let him get. You know what I'm saying? Let's get him a diet friendly meal there. I know you guys are treating him well. Wayne says 2 games official: Chiefs week 11, Niners week 13, Giants on Christmas Day, and we get the Giants on Christmas Day. That's cool. Do we have Do we have a Thanksgiving, Black Friday game or anything like that? Has the schedule been dropped? It's 8:03. I don't see anything on on the on the screen here. Has anybody seen it? Has anybody seen the official schedule? It's after 8:03. I know I'm streaming, so I might be a couple minutes behind. But if the schedule is up there, the schedule show is start. Is it starting? All right. So are they probably, 8 o'clock, they like to build up the suspense. They're probably not dropping it at 8 o'clock. They're probably going to do some teases and all that stuff, right? And then they're probably going to, unveil it in chunks or pieces. All right. So I see the schedule release show on there, but they just don't come on. Here we go. Here's the schedule. Boom. No, they make a spectacle out of everything. And that's what I like about the NFL and keeping, because they make the offseason relevant, and which gives us content, right? As Eagles talk show, right? There's always something. We had the draft not too long ago. We have, the big dates in offseason are free agency, right? Then the draft, right? You can't wait for that. Then the schedule release. So they do a great job. The NFL has done a great job with their product and dropping, making the off season relevant. Mrs. Jones says, happy birthday to your uncle. Blessings to 90 years and many more. Thank you so much. All right. Albert Allen is out there. Albert, what's up? What's up? I hope we get Gannon early. Well, if we go by the unofficial, wait a minute. Week 1 schedule is out. And let me see. Where's Philly? Yeah. So we take on the New England Patriots. That is true to form. All right, so they put week 1 out there. And who's going to play? So Detroit is going to play Kansas City in that Thursday night opener. That should be a good game. I guess they wanted to look out for the champs, right? I guess you don't want to come out. That would have been a big marquee game and they did that for a couple years. They would have the Super Bowl champ play the challenger, or has happened something like that, right? So, and here's one of my co-hosts. He wants to call on phone when I'm on the show. Now, please do not hire help like I hired. So, I can't answer the phone, Shell, because I'm where you should be, on the show. All right. So, oh my goodness. Toby says, anyone check out the OC and DC press conference? I did not. When did that happen? Was it the rookie camp? Well, let's talk about the rookie camp. What do you guys feel? What do you guys hear coming out of the rookie camp? I heard that they weren't in shape, and I don't know if all of them were in this shape or if Sirianni was just covering, because the question was specifically about Jalen Carter, and I think he was trying to save Jalen Carter by saying that, everybody was in the shape. So obviously he wasn't in shape either, but he didn't just single out Jalen Carter. He said, well, it doesn't matter because everybody was not in shape. No one was ready to play regular season football. And no duh, but some were in better shape than others. And that's what the questioner was probably trying to get at. And Jalen Carter was not in shape either. I took that as that. But I give Sirianni credit because he sticks up for his guys. And this training camp should be very interesting because of all the SEC players on both sides of the football. It's going to be almost like a game, a SEC game every practice. You got Alabama offensive linemen, wide receivers, a Georgia running back going up against the Georgia defense. It should be some real good battles in training camp when they allow them to actually hit, because we play, our preseason isn't the same as it used to be, but I'm not going to knock it. I still do miss those physical practices, but hey, I can't knock Sirianni's method because we went all the way to the Super Bowl. We were 14-3. How can I knock it? So Pat says, I like our defensive coordinator, make them feel. Yes. All right. I like that too. And I'll say this defensive coordinator, Gannon had the number 2 defense, so just a couple yards away from the number 1 defense last year. Can't take that away from him. But since I don't like him anymore, I'm going to say, and I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I'm going to say that our number 2 defense benefited more from the fact that how he stacked that defense up. So it was such, the talent level on that defense was so high that they won despite Jonathan Gannon's scheme, because nobody liked that passive scheme. We would always get eat up over the middle and the such. We didn't pass. I mean, we didn't blitz a lot, and I'm okay with that because we almost set a record in sacks, and that's because of the talent on that defense. To me, not his schemes as much as they were very talented. You had to pick your poison on that defensive line. Who are you going to double team? You double team Reddick. Now Fletcher Cox and Hargrave gets one-on-one. You double team Hargrave. Now Fletcher gets one-on-one and Reddick gets one-on-one. You had to pick your poison. You couldn't double team everybody across the defensive line, and we had some monsters with 4 people getting double-digit sacks. That BG getting one-on-one coverage and then having so many bodies to rotate. By the time the 4th quarter came, we had fresh legs out there running, and it was a work of art to see that defensive line rush the quarterback. And the only way that we could be slowed down is if you wet the field. I'm sorry, I have to go there. I don't want to be a 40 whiner, but I'm just saying I'm going to leave it alone. But that's the only way you can stop it. So that defense, Gannon was the beneficiary of having so much talent on that defense. Well, I think that we have an equally talented team this year. Some of them are a little younger, but athletically, I think they are just as talented as last year. And, CJ GJ, yes, he's gone, but I think he was a product of that outstanding defensive line with the turnovers he had. And then Brown, our rookie safety, has a good chance of starting. He's a ball hawk. He's a hard hitter. He may be able to benefit the same way CJ GJ benefited last year. That might even be the reason why he didn't get as much money as he expected in the open market, because other teams probably looked and said, well, we don't know if he's really that dynamic, or was it because he played behind such a dynamic front seven? And if that's the case, then we have a Brown, who's playing behind that dynamic front seven, and maybe he'll benefit too. So some players benefited. Hargrave the same way. I know he's an outstanding defensive tackle, but he benefited from playing beside some outstanding pass rushing defensive linemen too. He benefited from not getting double teamed all the time. Like I said, you had to pick your poison. You couldn't double team everybody on the defensive line. So someone had to get one-on-one coverage, and we had such talented pass rushers that whoever that was were capable of beating one-on-one, and they did it a lot of times. 4 of them did it 10 or more times on our defensive line. So I see a replication of that, but more importantly, I see a new defensive coordinator, and I would love to see how he uses that same type of talent. We didn't like Gannon, right? We didn't like some of his schemes, right? So we now have a new defensive coordinator, and I like to see how he deploys these weapons or these tools that he has in his toolbox this year. All right, excuse me, Toby Cooper. Week 1 versus the Pats. Number 2, Vikings. 3, Tampa. 4, Commanders. So that jogs up to what we have, right? So I'm taking it, Toby, that you've gotten that official, right? Okay, so that jogs up with what the unofficial that we had. Let me just go back to it and let me take a look at it. All right, I'm sorry. Let me see. So Vikings, Buccaneers, have Commanders. All right, yeah, that's about right. Pats, Vikings, Tampa, Commanders. Yeah, that's the same. So maybe our unofficial version is official. They're going over the Jets schedule right now. I don't know when they'll get to us, but Carlos King says we are loaded on defense. All right. and we are loaded on defense, and we got a lot of young guys. I know that they will get up to speed. We have those young guys from last year, Jordan Davis, and he is a run stopper. We were hoping that he would be the pass rusher since he was so big and athletic, but we found out, and not that he can't grow or improve from last year, but he is mostly a run stopping defensive tackle, right? But now we've added his running mate from Georgia, who definitely is a pass rushing defensive tackle. So you get those guys side by side, and I think it's going to be advantaged Eagles along that defensive line. We have the linebackers. We have Morrow. He's a tackling machine, replacing TJ. Well, maybe not his same position, but he would be replacing White maybe, and Nakobe Dean replaces TJ. But they're two heat-seeking missiles. They're tackling machines. I just see this defense as being just as dynamic. Toby is updating me again. He says, number 5, at the Rams, Jets, Dolphins, Commanders. Let me see if that matches up. Rams, Jets, Dolphins, Commanders. Rams, Jets, Dolphins. Yep, that matches up. So it looks like our unofficial schedule may be matches the official schedule. So that leak was a good leak. All right, they're showing now that Tom Brady is going to be honored at the Patriots home opener versus us week 1. And that should be fitting that he goes down to the team that took him down in the Super Bowl. Last time he played, no, that wasn't the last time he played the Super Bowl for the Patriots, because he went back the next year and actually won. So he's going, but they're going to be honoring him. Speaking of our old friend Nick Foles, he got released this week from the Colts. I don't know if he's going to call it a career. I kind of think that maybe it's time. I mean, if somebody's going to give him money, I'll go and play again. But I don't think he has anything else to prove, nor do I think that he is capable of duplicating what he did when he was with us. So maybe it is time to hang it up. Nick Foles, thank you so much for everything that you've done, but you can't come back. We can't bring him back here. We've moved on, so to speak, and let his legend live as it was when he was on the team. We'll remember him always for being the MVP of that Super Bowl 52. And yeah, I think he should retire Eagle too, Jackie. That would be great. He needs to come home and join the staff. Maybe that. I see that. Wayne says we can still get someone during the trading deadline in October. Yeah, and that might be what we do. I don't know if we are going to need a Linval Joseph or a Ndamukong Suh, but it's good that we may have that option, because they're veterans, and they want no parts of training camp. They rather sit home and wait for someone to call them in the middle of the season. You know what I'm saying? That worked out great for them last year, and they came in, they gave us a lot too. Linval Joseph and Sue actually kept Davis off the field. He couldn't break he couldn't break the rotation as much with those two guys in there, those two big veterans. They had a little gas left in the tank. They weren't their prime. They weren't in their prime, but they had more experience and knowledge, and they served us well last year. But we have some dynamic defensive linemen. I don't know if we're going to need them, but it'd be good to know that they will be available. Toby says it's Dallas, the bye, the Bills, then the 49ers. So that matches up with our unofficial copy of the schedule release. So again, that's going to be our toughest stretch of games there. And I'll remind you guys again that we will be going over this schedule game by game next week as we do our annual preseason. Well, not really preseason, not preseason, but we go over the schedule when it's released, and we go game by game, and we predict what we think the schedule is going to be. And I know it's premature because our team is still not set, but it's pretty much you know how these things go, right? After free agency, the draft, undrafted free agents. When you go into training camp, that's usually who you're going to finish. I mean, that's usually who you're going to open the season with, unless something dynamic happens, like Howie pulling off a move last year to pick up CJ GJ. late, and not only him, but I'm sorry, cornerback. Can't remember his name right now. Bradbury. I'm sorry, Bradbury. Bradbury late. That doesn't usually happen, but the Giants couldn't fit him under the cap, and that was a gift to us. And he really helped this team last year, and we bring him back this year. So we have some dynamic. We still have our dynamic cornerbacks, and we have some young guys that are going to learn from them next year. That is one Ringo, Keely Ringo. We don't have to rush him out of there, sort of like Sheldon Brown and Lito Shepherd didn't have to rush out there when we draft them. They got a chance to learn behind the great Troy Vincent and Bobby Taylor, and it served them well. When their time came, they just picked up the mantle and ran with it. So we get the luxury of doing a little bit of that this year by having Bradbury and Slay. So Ringo can learn behind them. He's not going to be pressed into action immediately, I don't think. So that's good. All right, Toby is updating us again. The last three are the Giants, the Arizona, and the Giants. Giants, Arizona, Giants. Is that it? Is that match on? Let me see. Oh, yeah, Giants, Arizona. Yeah, so that does match. So, all right, so everything matched up. And, yeah, we are the Philadelphia Bulldogs. Yeah. Davis did have an injury late last year. He had an injury in last year. Did he have another one, you mean? Are you talking about another injury? Because he had one, I don't know if it was late, but it was kind of mid-season, and that's when we picked up Linval Joseph and Sue, right? So, and that was after we got gashed on the ground. So, hopefully he's back. He's healthy this year. And again, I talk about the battles that had take place in training camp. Those guys were teammates at Georgia, and they said that their battles in practice at Georgia was intense. Now imagine what it's going to be against the veterans when they're learning and they're vying for snaps and moving up in the depth chart and the such. I think that, and I talked about it last year with our team, and I think the same thing is going to apply this year, is when we have a dynamic offense, we have a dynamic defense. So these guys, it's iron sharpening iron out there. It's every day at practice, they're playing up against, the defense is going up against one of the top offenses in the league, and the offense is going up against one of the top defenses in the league. So every game, every practice is intense. Every practice, they're getting good work out there. We got our wide receiver duo, one of the best in the league. I said the Dolphins may be the only other combination out there that can give them a run. But A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith going up against Bradbury and Slay. The iron sharpening iron. If you can stop A.J., then you're doing really good. If you can burn Bradbury, then you're doing pretty good. So when you get out here and you're facing lesser talent against you, it made it look easy last year. It made it look easy. And I think that was a big contributor to the success we had, was that the team was solid through and through. And every day they had to go up against each other. Every day. Same one, high ankle sprain. Okay, so he had a high ankle sprain. Okay, Toby said DC brought that point up at the press conference. Yes, they're going to be, so that was a big help in this team being as great as they were last year, was playing up against each other, and I think it's going to be the same, and that's going to bode well for the young guys coming in to play against great talent. I hope, they're tough. They're coming from top programs. Howie's done a wonderful job, and I don't believe I went this long without giving credit out to our GM, Howie Roseman, for the magnificent job he has done thus far in the offseason. And with Howie, that the work is not done. The work is not done. He's done a great job up till now, and I don't think his job is done. But if it is, if we get nobody else, I think that we have a solid team. I think he did his job in the offseason and replacing those who left with equal talent. I think all except for Hargrave. And I think that he did an excellent job in replacing him with Carter, right? I know it's the jury's out until we see him and see his skill set translate into the NFL. The jury's out. But about, if we go by his scouting report and what he did in college, I think we got a like for like talent right there. Morrow replacing Edwards. Edwards was our top tackler. Morrow was a tackling machine. The Kobe Dean, White, I think he did a great job in replacing talent. On offense, he got Swifty. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think Swifty is an upgrade from Miles. I think he is. And running behind our offensive line, can you imagine Swifty? And I don't think Swifty doesn't have a history of dancing and trying to bounce it outside like Miles. I think he's going to benefit well, and he breaks more tackles than Miles. Now he's not a bigger back, but he doesn't go down on first contact. So imagine he's going to be running through holes as wide as the garage there. And then if someone happens to get in his way, he can break a tackle or two. That wasn't Booby's specialty there. He got touched, he went down. I'm talking about you touched him. If you tagged him, he went down. You know what I mean? But Booby was good. He served us well last year. But I think we upgraded on offense. If that's possible. And our offense was dynamic. And this is going to be Jalen's third year in the same offense. I know he doesn't have the same exact OC, but he has a OC that he's familiar with, his quarterback coach. It's not going to be like he has to learn anything new. He's an expert. He was an expert in this offense last year. Now he gets another year to run in the same offense. I think he's going to be even better. All right, Wayne says Swifty put up 200 against us. Yeah, he put up 200 on us last year. Swifty is great. And I know it is a big if out there, but if he stays healthy, along with Penny, he stays healthy. I think our running backs, it's like 2017 with Blunt and Ajayi. Ajayi being Swift, Blunt being Penny. I think they're better. Swifty is better than Ajayi was. And Penny has the possibility to be better than Blunt. So we're stacked. We're stacked going into next year. And that schedule is out. And it is tough when you go by strength of schedule. But I think that we are just as good as we were last year. And we have some unfinished business to take care of going into next year. So I'm glad that the schedule is such. I'm going to put it back on the screen, see the what is it? Is it this? All right, so I'll put it back on the screen. So that proved to be just what it was. I mean, just what the official schedule was. So let me go back here. I'll do this. All right, so that first stretch of games real quick. Patriots, Vikings, Buccaneers, Commanders. I think that's Patriots should be a win. Buccaneers, Commanders should be a win. Vikings may be a little tougher, but I don't know. They had a good record last year, but they were paper thin. I think their record, they were a paper team. They look good. I mean, they beat some teams, but I don't think they were really, really tested during this season and beat any really challenging teams. And it came to fruition in the playoffs when they were bounced out of there real quick by the Giants. Then we have the Rams, Jets, Dolphins, Commanders. Not saying they're pushovers. The Rams may be back next year. They'll be healthier. The Jets that's not going to be an easy game. They have Aaron Rodgers coming to a very talented team, good defense, a nice offense, defensive rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Bryce Young is coming back, so that's not a pushover. The Dolphins, we already know, the tandem of Waddle and Tyreek Hill, along with Tua, if he's healthy, that's formidable. So, I mean, it's an easier schedule than the second half, but it's not anything that we can sneeze at. Now, 8-0, that's pretty. I'm gonna save my judgment till next week. 8-0 though, that would be dynamic. That would be dynamic to do that against the Buccaneers. Don't seem to be a problem. The Jets and the Dolphins, right there. If we can get out of there with 2 wins up from them, the Rams, I'll even throw them in there on the next tier down. But the Jets and Dolphins should be a little higher tier than the Rams. So the Dolphins, Jets, and the Rams, I'm gonna reserve my judgment until next week's show. But second half of the schedule will be the test. Yeah, I agree with that too. We can go 13-0 versus the Jets. You think we go 13-0 versus that? It's about to come on NFL Network. Oh, what? They gonna put us up there? Oh, well, I'm not. I just want to. The schedule has been released. It is exactly what I expected it to be. I mean, we had the leak schedule and it matched up. So I'm not going to hold you guys. We already know what it is. I just wanted to come on and talk as it was officially released and get some dialogue going on what's going to happen in next year. I know everything remains to be seen. And let me say, I already talked about the 40 Winers game, right? So we don't know. I think that if we are the two best teams in the NFC as it stands now on paper. We know that the season has to be played, and there are some surprises. Some teams don't go back to the playoffs. There's always the surprise team that emerges. I see that. Who do you see that being on the NFC? What team do you see emerge? I think Detroit is going to be better than last year. They made improvement last year. And, we played them. We beat them, 38-35 in the opener last year. And we were a little panicky. Remember that? I remember we were a little panicky, like, wow, we only beat the Detroit Lions by 3. And then we found out, guess what? The Detroit Lions had a nice offense. They were putting up 30-something points against a lot of people. We weren't the only one. And they put that up against us, and we finished the season as the number 2 defense. So, I think that they're going to be a team that you have to look out for next year. So we don't know all of them, but I'll pick that one as a team that may emerge this year. And there'll be more surprises. So that remains to be seen. But as it stands today, based on what we saw last year and what we know about additions and subtractions, I think that the Philadelphia Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers are still the top of the NFC. And we may meet them in the playoffs if everything plays out. All right, so the Seahawks too. Toby says this, and the Seahawks. I kind of agree with that too. But you guys, man, look, we'll be back. Yeah, they also drafted well. I thank them for drafting Gibbs. They gave us an opportunity to go and get Swifty. So I thank them for that. So the Lions are on the come up. Hey, look, hey guys, thanks for joining us. We're going to be back next Thursday. We're really like every other week in the off season, but the schedule is out, and we have to do our annual game by game breakdown, and that's what's going to happen next week. So make sure that you guys tune in. We already got the schedule, Eric. I'd say it. Thank you, Darnell. We appreciate that. If anybody share the show, tell your friends to go to subscribe to us on YouTube. Get us our YouTube numbers up. We are the GOAT on Facebook, as somebody put it. I was on an Eagles podcast the other day, and he enjoyed. He thanked me for coming on. I enjoyed being on the show, and he enjoyed. And he gave us shots out by saying, he's like, "Yo, these guys are the GOAT on Facebook." Well, we want to be the GOAT all over. So make sure you share this show, tell your friends about it, and tell them to subscribe to Eagles Talk on YouTube. We're trying to build up those numbers. But I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. Look, we'll be back next Thursday, 7 o'clock, so we can go game by game and break it down and see what our record will be. I heard some people say 12-5. That sounds good. How about 13-4? Sounds better, huh? I don't know. We'll go game by game. We'll keep it real, and then we'll have some fun when the season comes up, and we'll bring back out the sheet of paper and compare our notes. So I'm your man, the only one that showed up tonight on my solo. I got to get a better contract. These guys have written in their contracts they don't have to show up in the off season. I got to get better contracts. But we'll be back next week, man. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight. You guys go. For those Sixers fans, Eagles fans, it's also Sixers fans, go watch the game, man, and root us on. We got to go to the Eastern Conference Championship. I'll see you next week. I'm out. Peace.
Live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback whack, yo, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Eagles fly, Eagles fly.